There are reports circulating now regarding Phil Mickelson and insider trading. Last month, you had FBI agents talk to him in an airport about some investigations that will occur for Mr. Mickelson. Do you feel that this is going to be a distraction for him for the upcoming PGA Tour events this month and next month?
I don't think it will be a distraction, because if you look at his career, he's already gone through enough, right? With his wife having cancer and whatnot.
His mother as well.
Yeah, and he's been there before. You should just be worried about his play, at the U.S. Open after what he did about 7-8 years ago. He's been through it. I don't think it will be a distraction. We'll see how it plays out, I guess.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, you look at the year that Phil's having; it's his worst in his pro career this year. It's hard to say, and like Matt said, the guy's a professional. He's been through it all. His wife and his mother in the same year with breast cancer.
But could it be a distraction? Because you're saying he's having one of his worst seasons.
Yeah.
This just going to compound that.
I mean, it's pretty serious. When you're getting investigated by FBI agents, it's obviously going to ring a bell in your head and be in the back of your head there. But I think with Phil, he's been there. Well, he's a professional. When he's on the course, he's going to be thinking strictly golf. So I don't think the insider trading probe is really affecting his game too much. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, because I'm a Phil fan. I want to see him win that U.S. Open. So I hope it doesn't affect him too much.
I think his issue is just age right now for him. He's getting old, and the tour's just getting a lot younger right now. You got so many good players: Dustin Johnson, Ricky Fowler, Bubba Watson. The names keep on going, so I just think it might be an age issue for Phil right now.
Let's move on. It doesn't seem age is an issue for Edwin Encarnacion. The 31-year-old is hitting homers like no one's business in the prime of his career. A fantastic month of May, especially after a slow April. Only 2 home runs compared to the 16 last month. He hit another, so he's got a total of 19 now in this position. One of the Blue Jays, of course, honorees for the month. Makes sense with the numbers he's put up. But do you feel he can put this up over time? Maybe not put up 16 home runs, but can continue this pace until the end of the season?
Well, for sure, he's one of the most elite power hitters in all the MLB right now, and with Batista just looking to nickel and dime everyone right now, it's setting up Batista, Encarnacion, sorry. I think it's just a beautiful situation they have, because maybe if Encarnacion starts tailing off, well, Batista will come. It's just it's a win-win for the Blue Jays right now.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have when you've got 2 power hitters like that. Pretty underrated player overall, I think, in Encarnacion, but I don't know if he can continue hitting 16 a month, but I think, like Matt said, if you've got Batista...
But he could keep that pace going. 16 was a lot in a month.
That's a lot.
But can't keep that pace going. Perhaps maybe even reach 50 by the end of the season.
I don't think 50 is out of stretch at all. I mean, I think, what did he hit, over 40 last year, or pretty close to it?
Around there.
Around there.
So, I mean, 50 is not a stretch by any means, but if you're jumping into the 60, I think that's out of stretch for sure. But with the duo that they have right now with Encarnacion and Batista, I think it's a good problem to have with 2 power hitters hitting the ball like that.
It's just the way the team's playing too, right? Like everyone's
clicking.
Everyone's clicking, and it's so much fun to watch Blue Jays baseball right now. They're winning, the pitching's good, the batting,
This is the team that they were expecting to see last year when they brought all these guys in. It's finally starting to happen, and now the Blue Jays are seeing a winning streak happen. They're topping the AL East, and fans are happy.
And they're healthy. I think that's the biggest thing.
Exactly.
Last year, a lot of injuries. When you lose guys like Jose Reyes and the slow start to their pitching, that becomes a problem. How about this? The Miami Heat and San Antonio Spurs. It's another rematch of last year's NBA Finals. Of course, the Spurs losing out in 7 games. More importantly, losing out to Ray Allen, hitting that ridiculous 3 that kind of turned the tide of that entire series. But now the Spurs have home court this time. I think that's going to be a big factor. They are the favorites going in. Tony Parker might not necessarily be as healthy, but they say he should be good to go. But the interesting thing about this whole thing was the post-game comments after the Spurs win against OKC. Now, Tim Duncan, who's relatively calm and has a demeanor that is very even keel, came out and said, yeah, we want to play them, we want to beat them. Any chance they can get, that's what they're going to do. Guys, do you feel that this is a little bit out of the ordinary, something that you like to see from Tim Duncan, or is this too much because he is facing the 2-time defending champion Miami Heat?
I love it personally.
Yeah,
I love that. That's what playoffs are all about, and the rivalry that these two teams have in the history. I think it makes for a great matchup, and for Tim Duncan to come out and say right after they won that conference final to say, hey, we're excited to play these guys and we want redemption. I love it. I think it adds, news to the series, and it makes everything exciting now.
Well, after losing to them last year, you got to try to switch it up, right? So if you could try to get in their kitchen somehow,
That's
you don't
right.
have to blow in the guy's ear, but words are words. But yeah, I like what he's doing. He's coming out of his shell a little bit, I guess you can say, and it's going to be a great series.
Do you think the Spurs have enough to beat Miami this time around?
With home court, for sure. It's going to go 7. I think the home team's going to win every game, just like a typical basketball series.
I mean, yeah,
home court's everything.
if playoffs show anything, home court is so vital and so key in a series. But it's hard to say if they have the power to do it. I'm personally rooting for San Antonio. And Tim Duncan, a 4-time NBA champion. I think that a lot of them have the experience, and it'll be a good series.
All right, guys, we're going to return. When we come back, we got Lloydminster's favorite game, Over Under, next.